Hi guys, welcome, Scatlink here, and we're off for yet another edition of What is in the Treasure Chest. There's a lot in here. In fact, in some aspects, we're going to need a bigger chest, to be fair. And I don't mean it in that way, get your mind out of the gutter. But regardless, hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I mean that more so than usual, because, for us in the UK in 2020, the year of years, we didn't actually much have a Christmas, to be fair, because, as you know, we couldn't meet up with anybody, and it was a pain in the arse to just give gifts, because meanwhile the government are having a party, which is really unfair and backhanded and also hypocritical. So, but again, politics always invading. Let's try to keep that out for 2022, shall we? I think we need a bit of a soft reboot. Now, I'm going to be covering this probably in a separate update video after this, because normally we have a little mini news segment of stuff that is happening on the channel, just so I don't have to make a separate video about it. But I've got a lot to talk about, and considering how much that we've got to cover today, that I want to show off and give thanks and all that, and just, you know, show you what I have, because it can impact the channel, and in this case it will. We'll have someone to thank for that as well. But yeah, we may not have enough time to actually talk about that, like everything at the end of this video, to make it not as big. I don't want it to be too long, so I'll make a separate video talking about that stuff, and I'll probably keep a little small news segment at the end of this, just for ongoing stuff, and then we'll have the upcoming stuff for a separate video. So without further ado, I think you know what we're going to be starting off with, because it's kind of a running trend, which, funnily enough, for the first time that I've seen on Twitter mentioning it, coming to an end. It's an end of an era. Well, coming to, at least. We have yet more of the Twilight Princess manga. We have volumes 8 and volume 9. As you can see here, I think you can guess what's happening with these two. This one's got the hero shade, so we're probably doing the final training before we go take on the Twilight King himself, or the Usurper King. He's not supposed to be king, but you know, we've covered the game as one of our first projects on the channel, very first project on the channel, and as such it will go, yep, that is right in the right order, on the pile, which is, well, actually, hang on a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is all made by the same person, or people. It's a team of 2 people, and with all these, keep in mind that Four Swords is a 2-parter, and technically 1, 2, and then this one is Majora's Mask. That's a 3-parter. These are all 10. Twilight Princess itself has almost matched the collector's box. But that's only one game. That just goes to show on how much story and how much lore there is in Twilight Princess in comparison to all the other Zelda games. It is a proper epic. And that's why it's one of my favourite Zelda games. And it is pretty juicy to boot in terms of content. And, you know, that's why I covered it as one of my first things on the channel, even though I could have probably done that better. Hindsight, you know, even the bonus episodes could have been a lot clearer. Again, that's a discussion for another time. But regardless, yeah, thank you for Stella Conrad once again. Literally all this is hers. I keep pointing this out every single time. And, yeah, I feel like when my next birthday rolls around, that'll be the final volume, and then I've got to find something else to ask for or look for. Not too sure where we'll go from here. Although I still don't have the Link's Awakening manga. I don't know if it's from the same artists or not, and authors. I haven't actually looked into it too much, but that'll probably be my next focus. So once we get the rest of the Twilight Princess manga, which I haven't read those 2 volumes yet, by the way. So once we get through those, I'm gonna have to start anew. Speaking of The Legend of Zelda, we have a few more Zelda-related things, because of course we do. I'm a Zelda fan, a Kingdom Hearts fan, Power Rangers fan, you can see it all down here. My bag's in the way. That was stupid of me. But hey, babble. Whoop! Ha-ha! We have a link. I'm holding that upside down. It's because the flip side was the right way up. It was Super Nintendo. So that was the problem there. But regardless, we have a Link to the Past box poster from Sibling Curio. I'm not actually too sure how long she's had this, but I like it. It's a Link to the Past, and funnily enough, it's actually one of her least favourite Zelda games, which is a complete swerve to what I like. This is one of my favourite Zelda games, actually, to be fair. Decent challenge. It's actually got difficulty to it. Because that's a common criticism of Zelda games since Ocarina of Time and Beyond. Not difficult enough, but then you get hero mode or master quest or double damage sort of thing. So they do add difficulty, which is quite nice. But yeah, we've already covered a Let's Play on this. We just did the quasi-forgotten sequel that Nintendo didn't re-release. So that's all I really have to say about Link to the Past, really. Haven't done Link Between Worlds yet, but that's one of the reasons why I actually got a 3DS capture device. I haven't done that yet. I'm trying to finish Majora's Mask 3D first, so let's wrap that up this year as well. Again, a discussion for later on. But this does actually have space on my wall, so it'll probably go right here. But we're not done with Legend of Zelda stuff. We've got one more to cover. Haha! We have the HD remaster of Skyward Sword, and I haven't touched it yet. I've got it out of the package so I can install it and get my gold points. I don't actually know how I want to play this, to be fair. If you remember in one of my earliest update videos where I was deciding on what to actually do for my first Let's Play, this was one of the contenders, like the original. And it was mainly because I wanted to riff a lot, which I ended up doing in Super Linkario's first Let's Play, because that was also the first reason why I stopped from doing that. And then she finally came back, rebooted her channel completely, and restarted the project, which I kept on telling her to do, because it'll be weird starting halfway through with Let's Play videos, and then going live streams. Just have it consistent, and it's your favourite game anyway, you might as well just play it again and be better, and it was better quality regardless, but... blabber! Skyward Sword HD, yeah, not one of my favourite Zelda games, but the thing is, they've pretty much sorted out everything that was a problem with the game, other than obviously the game itself. It's like Metro Level M Maximum Edition, the double X in that. It's because it fixes a few bits, it removes the monologue, stuff like that. In this case, the equivalent to Maximum Edition would be this being... Fi doesn't interrupt you every goddamn 10 seconds, makes the game come to a screeching halt, and you can't skip her text. In fact, if she's supposed to pop out of the sword and stop you in your tracks, the sword will just flash. Like, if you want the information, you can press the button. If not, go on your merry way. And when she does pop up, you can skip the text. You can actually skip the text. And that is my major criticism of killing the pace to a screeching halt every few minutes or so. Solved. But now it's like, yes, I would easily play this version. I mean, this version's 60 frames as well, so it is super clear. It's proper, like, upscaled to 1080p. It's not just going to be, you know, upraised and cleaned up for if you're playing on the Wii U. But most of my commentary would have came from the riffing. That's kind of the thing, because it's like, oh, I don't have much to say here, because this is where I would normally be arguing at fire. It's like, yeah, I know, but now it's like, alright, I'll just keep going. So, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know if I actually will get to Let's Playing Skyward Sword now. It's kind of, it's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing for me, to be perfectly honest, because I don't know how else I would cover it. It's not my favourite Zelda game, so I wouldn't have a lot to say. It's like with the most of the Metroid games, I have a lot to talk about, but when I get a chance to, considering how short they are, maybe it'll be better as a nostalgic trip sort of live stream, which I've only done one of, and I know that, and that was back in 2020. Again, a discussion for another time. It's like, I've got so many plans for this year to, like, reboot things, so and it's on my mind. This is I'm telling you about it, like sprinkling it here and there, because it's on my mind, and that is basically going to be the very next video after this, because the majority of what I want to talk about will be in there. Dear old mama got me that game for me, as she normally does with a new Zelda game on the market. She normally grabs it for me if I don't pick it up myself, like I did with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So thank you, tata mama. But we are now done with Zelda. So why not we move on to something else that is on the Switch. And we have the Gen 4 remakes, or Gen 4 remake for me anyway. My brother got the other one, Brilliant Diamond. I have Shining Pearl, because I had Shining Pearl, well, the original Pearl, on the DS, which I abused with cheats, I will admit, and I still struggled on Battle Revolution. It's mostly because the Sunset Coliseum, you have to use rentals. But it gave me freedom on making teams, especially ones themed off of the leaders of every Colosseum. But obviously I'm not going to have the luxury of doing it with this, but I'm obviously a lot more of a better Pokemon player now, plus this is going to have movesets from Gen 8, because it's technically a Gen 8 game, but you can't have Gen 8 Mons, the Pokedex actually goes up to 493, And to be fair, I'm still looking forward to Legends Arceus or Arceus more than this. And I haven't started it yet, but from what I've seen, it's clean. The remixes are actually good, because that was one of the big disappointments with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Like, you lose those bassy drums. Why? They were the best parts of the music. But from what I've seen from this, it's alright. It's a decent remake. It's a remake that everybody's been wanting. Not the way that they expected it to be, because it's like chibi models on a top-down view, basically. Kind of like how they did with Link's Awakening. It's like they went with like chibi/diorama style, and it's basically like one-to-one if the sprites were models. That's kind of how it was. I mean, when you're in battle, it's full-on models, like people are like proper-sized people. But yeah, and the only time that you have like wild Pokemon walking around is if you're in the underground, which funnily enough, actually, the map for the underground is inside the case, so the inside of the case actually has a use. Thank you. And they actually put something else in. Well, it's more like advertisements for Arceus in here. Obviously, it tells you that if you have save data from certain games, you can actually claim two Legends, which is probably the easiest way to get a Mew ever. I mean, you would have said that the Pokeball Plus Joy-Con for £40 or dollars, whatever, would be the easiest way to get a Mew, because you just pay for it and then you have it, but you can't transfer it off the game. It's stuck on that Pokeball, and then you have a useless, barely functioning Joy-Con. It's like only useful for that game because it's got a joystick. You click it in for the button and you use motion, but not actually chuck it to catch Pokemon, and then you can take a Pokemon with you, or just move it over to Pokemon Go, which is pocket in your phone anyway. It's a bit of a weird thing, and it was a very awkward way on getting a Mew. You can catch Mew and Go, of course, but you can't transfer it either. Like, why does Mew have to be so bloody elusive? Seriously. But this is probably the easiest and most fairest way to get Mew. You have Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu as save data on your system on that account. You boot this game up, you get to Florama Town, I think it is, the one with the flowers, and you get it. Same with Jirachi if you have Sword or Shield save data. I was about to say DLC, and I still haven't got that. But yeah, so that is Pokemon Shining Pearl. We're not done yet, because you may have noticed that we had two, and I haven't talked about the second opening of a treasure chest. Little pre-order bonus! I haven't opened it out of the package yet. I mean, I did it with my Nintendo Switch pin when I went to the what's it called? The premiere event at Eventium Apollo building in London, because I live in the UK, so perks to me. Basically, we were able to try out the Switch, like the Nintendo Switch, like a month before it actually got released. So I was able to play the demo of Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, 1-2 Switch, where we were milking cows with my dad, which was super bloody awkward. And I made a whole video out of that, which I'll probably put in a card above here, because that was pretty fun, and that was a fun day. And it was a... You know, my dad's not even much of a gamer. It was just so much fun. Regardless, I got mine out of the package, and my dad kept his in the wrapping, and it's kind of been the reverse for me and my bro, because he's got, obviously, the diamond pin, so I've got the pearl pin, but he's opened up his, and it's basically the logo, the Pokeball design that you would see as the icon on the DX or 3DX before you boot up the game. So this is basically your icon from the DX. So I don't need to open it, because I know what it is, but thing is, I got to thank the Wilfons for getting these, actually. I mean, technically I did buy it off of him, but it was at slightly discounted price, because obviously he wanted to pre-order the double pack as well as those to get the pre-order bonuses. And for some reason they sent him 2 sets of the pins as well for each game. He got double pins, so it was like, well, that's cool. Thank you for the additional pins. I was not expecting that. So, Merry Christmas to me anyway. Merry Christmas to Marcelo, Merry Christmas to the Wilfons. So, that's why I didn't mention his name. We'll talk about Shining Pearl. That was the reason why I wanted to get to that, because that was the true free thing. And, yeah, thank you very much. Wasn't expecting it. Even he wasn't expecting a second pair of pins. So, he's got pins, we've got pins. We're all happy chappies. But as you know, with Pokemon, you gotta get it all at this point. It's not catch them all, get them all, but I guess catching works because... Come on, hop out. Oh, there he is. I have a little Umbreon plushie. I was not expecting this at all. In fact, this was a absolute swerve when it was wrapped up. Stella Condrite gifted me this, and she don't like it. It's my favourite evolution because it is so tanky. It literally carries you in Colosseum. It's got decent power as well. I mean, it's not exactly the strongest mon, but with that defense, okay speed, okay damage, it can pretty much carry you. And it basically was my carry when I first played Colosseum. My whole team kept getting swept because they kept spamming Earthquake, taking out my Pokemon in my second spot. The whole team. Meanwhile, this plucky little fella was still hanging on with about half HP. I mean, I was pumping it with potions, obviously, but it was taking hardly any damage when everyone else was taking, like, at least a third, like, 2/3 or a complete knockout. And that's why I love Umbreon. And when this was wrapped up, I was, like, feeling these bits, because it's wrapped up, I don't know what it is. And I was like, I have no idea what this is. And then I was told with a couple of clues, oh, it's something that I don't like. And I was thinking, okay, I like me Pokemon, but it doesn't feel like a Rabombi, or however you pronounce it. It's what I have as my Keto, if you've seen any of my Battle Bashes. Probably used it on my Pokemon Sun. And yeah, it's a little mosquito thing. But I was like, that doesn't feel like it. Could it be a Pinsir? I don't know, because these bits... It swerved me when I opened it up. I was like, "Oh my god, it's an Umbreon!" I was not expecting that at all. So yeah, that was a nice surprise. So it literally just jumped out at me. Oh boy, I'm so immature. So that's it for Pokemon. We've got I've got a Pokemon, I've got a Pokemon game, I've also got a collectible, which is what you do in Pokemon, like the monsters. Gotta catch them all. But now it's time to probably get a little bit more personal. Gotta take care of yourself, especially since the past couple of years. I've got a really itchy nose today. When you get older, you need some stuff, and sometimes you don't think that you need it when you actually do. These I don't actually use much in my life. I mean, I just wear socks, but in this particular case... That's a half. And that is another one. So I have slippers. But not just any slippers, they're Starfleet standard issue. I'm a Star Trek fan, even though my birthday is on May the 4th be with you. I'm not a Star Wars person, that's more of my brother. But I'm more of a Trekkie, and dear old Mama once again saw these and was like, oh, I might as well get these. And to be fair, I do go through a lot of socks, and I do always wear socks. And not slippers. And to be fair, I'm not used to wearing slippers, and they keep slipping off when I'm walking around the house. But I have been making a conservative effort to actually wear them, and, you know, I don't actually wear slippers, so it's just something different. Not really much else to say about that, really. Pretty much of a quick one. But you know what you don't take quick ones of? Showers. Obviously, you don't want to stay in there too long, but, Dad, my dad got me a Lynx wash bag with body spray, body wash, and antiperspirant. So, I mean, I normally use Link products, I normally do black, and it's just in a nice little package. So, I don't have showers, to be fair, I actually have baths, but you can actually use shower gel as a bubble bath, because it's still going to get all frothy and it's still going to clean you. So, when I get shower gel, I just use it as body wash or shampoo, as they call it. So, yeah, but it's in a nice little package, and you can just take it with you. So once you've actually got the stuff out there, you can use it for travel. So, multi-purpose as well. Very useful, very practical. Because so far it's all been games or plushies or collectibles and stuff, and sometimes you actually need practical things. Speaking of practical things, and this one's going to be also a very quick one, ironically enough, I'm blasting through these, but there's not much to say, you know what it is. So, yeah, let's get on to this one, because this one's kind of something that I need, considering the job that I do. It involves a lot of walking. Okay, so I don't have the case, because I chucked it away, because it was in that stupid, like, plastic wrapping that you need to get scissors in order to even open, because it's just, sealed, you know. You know what's bullshit? Packages you need scissors for, and sometimes the scissors that you need actually come in the same packaging sort of thing. But yeah, we have the Pedi Spin. So you know those pumice stones that you would use on, like, yeah, a little bit bleh, is dead skin or calluses. You know, it's a build up of dead skin that just like on parts of your body, like hands or your feet, in this case feet, that are used a lot, and then it just kind of builds up. Yeah, that's to, you know, buff it down. That's, oh, whoops. But yeah, that's basically what this is. It takes 4 double A's. Yeah, 4 double A's though. I was about to say triple A's then. So it's quite a hefty thing. However, it does the job, and it's very nice and clean. You can obviously just use a stone. It's a lot quicker, but you get much more cleaner results from this. It smooths it out completely. I think it actually is more reliable as well. It just takes longer. So, but yeah, Mama got me that again, so thank you, Mama. I was actually asking for a new stone, and I got that instead. Because, I mean, if I did ask anyone else for any stones, I probably would have got more crystals. Because I did get that last time. I got, like, a crystal dagger. It's sitting on my shelf right next to my white tiger power morpher. So, yeah, I mean, the box is up there, but it's on the shelf. So, but yeah, that's all the care stuff. Now for some little bits before we get back into some big bits. So let's work our way back up. First off, for the lightning round, we have an eShop card which I've already used the code for. I put it towards the DLC for High Warriors Age of Calamity, which I was quite delayed on getting. I'm actually quite behind on a few DLC packs, actually, to be fair. Maybe because I'm not playing the games, or in this case, someone borrowed the game for a while, and I've been wanting to play the DLC for a bit, so waiting until now, I've got the game back, and I'm enjoying the DLC. Funnily enough, one of the first things, like when you go to the research lab, it's kind of like a spiderweb kind of skill tree thing that you unlock perks from, kind of like filling out the stuff, like the challenges in the Tomes of Dead by Daylight. It's kind of weird, but that was like the first thing that crossed all of our minds. It's like the mission, like the side quests that you have on the main map. You fill them in and you get a lot of unlockables, but the unlockables are ridiculous. You can, I mean, apples are expensive at 450 rupees a pop, but obviously if you don't want to go into a level and grind and then beat the level and not keep them, you can just spend rupees to max out your reserve of health, really. But then you've also got stuff like plus 10 and plus 20 weapon capacity? It took forever just to double what it was. You start with like 10 or 20 slots, and then you can get up to about 41 with Link and Zelda because of their Bow of Light and Master Sword that permanently take a slot. But now I've got like plus 20 additional slots already, and I'm just like, well, where was this during the main game? It's like massive. So yeah, that was something that I really wanted to get into. I've also got the whip now, so I've done a little bit more, so that's going to go sit in the High Warriors thing. I also need to get the 4th character season pass for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, but I'll probably get that in my own time. I'll wait until the other characters come out, and then I'll buy them and do them all at once, because the characters come out at decent speed, but I'm fed up of Mighty Morphin, come on. Yes, I know I've got Mighty Morphin, Morpher and all that, but that's the easiest to build a suit of, even though it's still pretty pricey. Mighty Morphin is part of the brand, it's what started it all, and that's why it has the most nostalgia and the most brand recognition. But I mean, I know that TOS, the original series of Star Trek, was variety. To be fair, next gen I feel was just better overall, but then again, that's probably my era. Just saying, I would like to see more in space, in galaxies, sort of thing. That's kind of, that was me. But personal things aside, yeah, we got one more to go. I said it was going to be a lightning round, and I kind of stayed on the eShop for a bit. Let's keep moving. So, last Christmas, I worked my butt off, and the very next year they reward me again. Another gift card. This time it's not Sainsbury's, it's Tesco. That's because from what I do, we're not associated with Sainsbury's anymore for the most part. So, but regardless, yeah, another gift card from work. Can't complain. Thank you very much. Oh, and my auntie got me the eShop card. I forgot to mention. But yeah, thank you, work. That was very nice. Nice little seasoned greetings card, and yeah. What to say about that, really, other than thank you. I really am humble sometimes. But you know when it's not humble? When you go and wreck people out of a Mario Party game. I've got Mario Party Superstars. Basically, a choice select of 5 boards in between the first 3 N64 Mario Party games, 1, 2, and 3. And you have minigames throughout all of the... Well, basically the top 100. That is not DS or 3DS minigames that require... or even... GameCube that required microphone or touchscreen or motion sort of thing, just pure controller action. And to be fair, this has more quality than Super Mario Party, and they don't include any minigames from Super Mario Party. It's like they completely forgot about that, which is ironic because a month before this came out, which they advertised as having online play, because when you start it up, it, like, the first thing it asks you, are you playing offline or are you playing online? And I'm like, it was built into it, so that means if you play a map online, it should still save every turn, so you can pick it up if you have a disconnect, which, considering Nintendo servers, really needs to be a thing, because Super Mario Party didn't have that, and when we tried to do that for, you know, channel's anniversary last year, 2021, it broke on the final turn. So yeah, thank you for that, Nintendo. That was fun. It even took a while just to set up to begin with, and it kept crashing on turn 1. It was a nightmare. We got like an hour and a bit, and that's what we were rewarded with. A disconnect. Thank you. We can't pick that up to finish off that game. But they learnt. I mean, I say they learnt. They were working on this, so they kind of shoehorned it into the other one. Don't just stick online into a game that should have had it to begin with. Yes, you learnt your lesson, but at the same time, you were trying to do it on that. If you're going to do it on the other one, actually, you know, put the effort in. Also, fix N64 emulation. You shouldn't have to, like, whack a tree and then it freezes and crashes and you lose your save data. That's not right. Yes, I've just talked about that. Welcome to the news. Which, funnily enough, will be after the next one, because we have one more game. Thank you, Dad, for getting me this one, because, well, he used to be in the Mario Party quite a bit, so we always got it for him, but now it's like he don't play it anymore. So now it's me or my bro. In fact, it was a joint prezi, because my brother Master Aaron actually, well, me and my dad pitched in to get him a Switch. So we don't have to share a Switch anymore. So that means if we wanted to play multiplayer stuff like Pokemon, we can actually do that, which makes sense because he got Brilliant Diamond, which I mentioned earlier. But there was actually one game that was kind of like, do I want to play it? Do I not? And I did play the prequel, so I thought, well, I already played the demo as well. Might as well get it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tata Nana. My nanny got me this, and it's the Neo World Ends With You. So I haven't actually continued it since transferring my data over from the demo, but from what I played in the demo, it was kind of intriguing, although it was incredibly confusing. Because at least in the first game, spoilers, you find out that you're in this game and you've got to, like, do these missions per the day, otherwise you get erased, so you're just gone. There's nothing left of you, not even your spirit. And in this case, yes, that's the same thing, but you didn't even know you were doing that at the point. Everyone just kept bumping into you saying, "Oh, hey, have you not completed your mission yet?" And it's like, you don't even have the timer on your hand like you did in the first game, which I think is a picture on the back of the box. Not on this one, but the first one, which is on Switch as well, by the way. You can get both games on Switch. But yeah, it was like, wait, so why are we now in this game? We just saw something, nothing happened to us. We saw something unfold, and now we're playing a game. What? At least in the first one, it was kind of obvious. You just kind of woke up comatose, and all of a sudden you're phasing through people. I can say this because that's the first thing that happens when you boot up the game. It's not spoilers. It probably says it on the back of the box. So, conjecture. But, you know, it's probably like one of those games where it's like, well, it hasn't had a sequel in ages, and it has got the, well, not on the front cover, back cover either. It does have that girl that was in the teaser after World Ends With You 1, so, and that always intrigued me. And I played the original on DS, didn't like how it played on Switch, because I tried the demo, wasn't a fan. But it doesn't matter because I played it, and it plays better on the DS anyway, and there's nothing additional as far as I can tell, other than that extra little bit, but you can just see a picture of that, which is how they teased it to begin with. When this was on the way to release, they had a countdown with that character on it. But anyway, I thought she was going to be the main character, but no, it just happened to be, oh, I've forgotten his name now, the dude in the orange in the middle. Where's a face mask, ironically enough, but it has been stressed. He wasn't designed with that because of what was going on in the world. That was, like, way before. It was just, like, a design choice, and it just happened to coincide, and now he looks odd because he's the only one who's actually wearing a mask, so... Whatever. Now, went on a bit there because we had quite a lot to go through and a lot of thanks to be given and merry times had by all. Good times had by all. I'm pooped. But we're not done. Someone in Cario gave me something and it's big. Big. Can I even get this out of the chest? There we go. Ooh, this thing is heavy. We have a PS3. An original one. 60 gig. With the memory flaps. It's a PS2 backward-compatible PS3. Ugh. Whew. I think that is more heavier than the PS5. And again, I don't know. I don't own one. Super Linkario does, though. And Panaman. Rude. But regardless, Super Linkario gifted me that because my PS2, as you know from our only 2 so far live streams of Shadow Man Second Coming, only 2 live streams, 10 episodes worth. I've been having problems with the disc loading, and it's been causing problems. Also, my controller keeps on disconnecting, which doesn't happen on any other game, which is weird. Now, even though I do have a janky DualShock 3, this one came with one, but the battery's dying. But, yeah, PS3 has been all set up, all ready to go. I've tested a few PS2 games, and they work wonders. In fact, there was no reading issues with any games that I've stuck in there. Mainly because Blu-ray readers are more powerful than normal disc readers that can read normal discs. So that helps. Because, I mean, I've had it before with, like, sticking a Wii game that has trouble loading in a Wii, or even, like, second generation Wii that I can read dual-layered discs. It will just work fine in the Wii U. It was the same with Metroid Other M, actually, ironically enough. It didn't work on my first Wii, but when we got our second Wii, it did work, so Aaron kind of had that one, while I had the one that could read the double-layered discs, because even Brawl was double-layered, but it had a couple of scratches, and that's what allowed it to read. But it was always having trouble reading, so we tried to move everything over to the other Wii. But with Brawl, it's a little bit more difficult. But digressing once again, this is actually something that we're going to have quite a bit to talk about, which is why I'm worried that this video is going to be too long and looking for, you know, no cuts at all. We're already at 40 freaking minutes. So I'm going to be showing up on screen right now a couple of games, either running it on the PS2 through component cable, including Disney's Haunted Mansion. For some reason it works now. I haven't done anything to the PS2 to make it work. It just now works. So thank you for not working when I wanted it to be done on the Let's Play, but it's probably the one that I'm going to show first because it was one of the earliest Let's Plays done on the PS2 with Composite. But yeah, this is going to be a comparison between PS2 component and PS3 component, because obviously you can't capture through HDMI because of HDCP. And then if there is a PS3 remaster or remake or port, then we will show that off as well, along with, so that'll be the likes of Ico, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, because that does have a PS3 version, which will have a PS4 remake as well, because that's more remastered, the PS3 version, but it doesn't have the bonus game of the original Prince of Persia in the PS3 version, so I would have to show the PS2 version anyway, but if I can have it at a decent enough quality anyway. Yeah, when it comes to Ico as well, I mean, that game is super low res, my god. I did not realise it was that low res on the original PS2. When you upscale it, like even if you just play it at normal 576p and not have the upscaler on the PS3, I don't think it does much. It's the smoother that more so makes the magic. But it does make it a lot easier to actually capture them, because I don't have to worry about maxing out memory on memory cards. I can just make a new virtual one. I don't have to worry about the disc not reading, well, unless it's super scratched, because, you know, as I've said already, Shadow Man Second Coming was having a lot of problems on the original PS2, which, by the way, this does mean that I've had to play everything for a third time, shooting the birds again, doing all that precision platforming in the vault, in order to get back to where I was. But I do have all 27 cado, although I did push a block that I didn't realise I didn't push in Louisiana, so we're going to have to go back there again. I'm saying that right now, just so you know that that is a thing that we're going to be discussing. I'll probably discuss ongoing projects at the end of this anyway, so we have a small little news segment. But everything planned, obviously, we're going to be talking about later. The best thing about it is that it automatically deinterlaces everything. Double lines, basically. So everything is nice and sharp, and it gets rid of a bit more motion blur. Thing with FMVs, though, is that they are interlaced, so you do see it during those moments. But that's how the video was made. That's not anything that the PS3 can do. But yeah, that is a massive thing that is going to be impacting the channel, because I am going to be using this PS3 to capture, because I can just hook it straight. Well, I'm still going to have to do the PS2 method, plugging it into the Roxio in order to capture it, because obviously the Elgato is only HDMI only, but if I use the Roxio as a glorified converter, which, funnily enough, deinterlaces the image somewhat anyway, it's a pass-through, and now it's a proper 1080p image, so I'm not recording a lower resolution image, blowing it up, which does make the video look worse if, you know, if it's 720p and I'm capturing like a 576i image, or 480p, and I have to make it widescreen, because the lower the resolution is now on YouTube, the quality itself actually impacts. So if you want like your quality of your video to actually be what it is on YouTube, for the most part, visually, when you're watching it, you actually want to render at least in 1080p. Because I've noticed that my Undertale videos that were, you know, pretty crisp, even when I did them intentionally at 480p, they are now quite badly bit crushed in a way, which really annoys me, because that is not how I edited or recorded them, and that's not how they looked. But then again, there was a change with YouTube that said that, oh, we're changing all the URLs so that they could be more secure or something. I wonder if that was like a weird, like, oh, we're taking everything from this page, including the file, and uploading it to a completely new page, and then transform the URL back into the original or whatever. I don't know how they did it, to be fair, but I think it has messed with the quality of older videos. Just saying. So my newer or 1080p console Undertale videos obviously look better than the originals, but the originals now look worse, and that's got nothing to do with me, which really annoys me. And I don't think I can remake that Let's Play, because it's still one of the best, and it had a lot of effort put in it. So, just thought I'd say that, because, again, this is going to make things a lot easier to edit, because I've been rendering and editing the Shadow Man Second Coming videos in 720p, because it was off the PS2, excuse me, but now it's on PS3, and it upscales the image to 1080p. I'm not going to lose any quality, and it should just be better in general, regardless. It gets rid of all the fuzziness, except for the little bit of rainbow shimmering that you get with Component. But it should be good nonetheless. I mean, on my TV it looks a lot better, and it's also a lot brighter. And if I wanted to, I could output it to my TV so I can see that instead of playing through OBS, which tends to be a bit darker for some reason, but that's what you guys see. And yet you guys see it better anyway, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just blind, maybe I need more better glasses, which I do need to sort out. But now I'm going off on yet another tangent. I'm going to be hopping over to the news.
You have to be my field agent, Rasputin. Are you ready?
Since this is a very long video and there was so much to cover, I'm going to be really, really quick about on this. So we're going to be having anything that is planned in a separate update video. So we're going to go going very quick. Please keep up. So first of all, we have Shadow Man Second Coming, because we were just talking about it with the PS3, the PS2 Backward-Compatible PS3. We will be continuing live streams on that now. The reason why I've been holding off is because of the technical issues, and then hoping to get a PS3 for Christmas. I can play PS2 games. That was the reason why I was holding off. So we'll be getting back into live streams on that real soon. Of course, Pokemon Fire Raid, we're basically halfway through now. Once I, personally, get through the tower to get the flute, we can go straight to Koga. We already have access to the Sylph Co building, so if we cleared that out, we can go for Sabrina. And if we take out Koga, we have Surf, so that we can go straight to Blaine. Brain. And that was a flub and a half, I'm keeping that in. We can go down there and then sweep him with Surf, because you need Surf to get to a place where there's fire Pokemon which are weak to water, so Brain. again. I guess it works. And then obviously you got Giovanni, which is ground type, which again you can just sweep him with Surf. So it's like the next half of the game I feel is going to be a lot quicker for all of us. All of us are caught up, we all have the tea, pretty much past that hurdle, and yeah, once with the Nerd Herd picks back up, which we're going to hopefully finish this year. Of course, as well as that, we have Four Swords Anniversary with Master Aaron, a 100% walkthrough. We've obviously gone to Four Swords Anniversary. We've only done one video at the moment, and it is up, of the bonus content being the Realm of Memories and the Hero's Trial. We've done the first door of the Realm of Memories, and we're going to be having other guests for the other two, because they're quite chill. It's the Hero's Trials that's going to take a long while, but once me and Aaron are all good to go, we'll be getting our guests for those particular two videos, and then it'll be Hero's Trial where we'll be doing the grind, so yeah, that'll be fun. And of course, whenever it finishes, which I hope to finish this year, because I know I'm going really slow on it, a lot of other stuff keeps getting in the way, as I've mentioned before, like making videos, collaborations, Nerd Herd, life, work, what have you, is Majora's Mask 3D. But we are on the final quarter of the main quest. We just, on Patreon, wrapped up Great Bay. Again, once the Let's Play is finished for complete, it'll be coming out of Patreon, so it'll go public, and then it will take its spot alongside the other Let's Plays. I might just number it that way anyway, because that's been in the works for a while, and as I said in the video, which we'll be talking about after the last recap that we're talking about today, will be in the next video. So, last thing that we have to mention is, once again, A Hat in Time. That this game does not want to stay finished, I swear to God. I mean, I don't mind the extra DLC. The challenge roads have slowed down, and once again I've stopped on mods for a bit, but that's because they actually disabled mods when the DLC came out, and I was waiting until it got back in, and then obviously I want to play that so my hats don't get messed up, like my hat wheel. But the Vanessa's Curse, that is a very fun online mode where you chase, you know, other players if you are a Shadow Puppet to make them a Shadow Puppet. Meanwhile, if you're not a Shadow Puppet, it's a collectathon scramble where you got to collect crowns. If you collect 100 crowns and tag 56 souls, you basically get all of the costumes and cosmetics. There's no achievement, so it should be simple. I feel like it will do 2 episodes worth. One talking about it and showing it off, and then one video being, hey, here's a few highlights of many games that I've just recorded, like, throughout or whatever, which we'll probably do some streams of just having that as, like, stream archive bonuses or something, so you have the full archives just to mess about with. That video would have the edited, like, highlights, and then we would go through all of the cosmetics that were available in the DLC. I feel like that's the best way to do it, and there's also free collectible crowns in the hub of the DLC, but because, you know, it's the Create a DLC program, there's going to be more DLC, and this Let's Play really is never going to end, and it's going to be the Let's Play that has the most unique thumbnails, in terms of, like, front cover thumbnails, as it were. How many videos have I done on A Hat in Time? It is one of my favourite collectathons of all time, and I know I keep going on about it. I know that people keep mentioning that I keep going on about it. It's a good game, and it's got infinite replay value, and it just keeps getting more and more content. Unfortunately, the Vanessa's Curse DLC is not going to be on consoles, because just like how DLC 2 and Yakuza Metro included Online Party uses Valve's or Steam's API networking feature that basically means hardly any latency in rendering that many characters without impacting performance or connectivity issues, sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting, but it basically turns the game into a 50-player MMO. So it's Poke MMO, Super Mario 64 online. I don't bloody know. It's basically that. Ocarina of Time online, Majora's Mask online. It basically turns it into that. It's Hat in Time online party. It's crazy, and you get to race people, you get points. I've already covered the main party at least, but if you don't have one DLC, but you get another DLC that involves online party, you get online party, so you don't have to get Yakuza Metro if you get Vanessa's Curse, because then you can still play online. I've got both, obviously, but, you know. But yeah, I'm going to cut the video off here, because yes, I was going to talk about planning on projects, but yeah. I'm going to talk about that in the next video, because this is now almost an hour long and I've got a lot of editing to do, so, and put everything away. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had, once again, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is a lot better for you guys as well. This year, we're basically doing a soft reboot of the channel, and yeah, we're going to try and get things back into gear. I'm trying to stay motivated in order to do this. We've been inactive for too long on this channel, I feel. We need to pick things up. So, let's make this year a better one, and I hope you guys have a safe time as well. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.